Yo, so guys, welcome back to another video. This is another Michael Zemba reaction on another basketball one, and the video is Michael Porter, not M Porter. Michael Porter Jr. has proven he's the future NBA star, Denver Nuggets championship. I don't know much about this kid or this player. He's probably older than me, so I can't really call him kid. But I don't really know much about him. I've not heard much of him either, but it was suggested from someone in my Discord, and yeah, I was just sort of like interested as to like what this video could be like and what this player is like, because I mean, it's a big sort of thing to say. The next future NBA star, like I'm guessing he's saying here he could be one of the best players like in the next few years, which I mean, big praise, but we'll see, man. We'll see what this video is about. Quickly, I just want to thank you guys, everyone who's in my stream yesterday. Craziest thing I've ever done. Someone gifted 50 subs. They gifted $250 worth of subs to just random people, and other people subscribing, like all the follows and just all the sort of interactions. I love the streamers, man, so we're definitely going to do more of them. But just if you are watching this video, I just do want to thank you guys for it, because I'm still just thinking about it. I couldn't sleep for a bit. My mind was buzzing. I was just like, what the hell happened? So thank you for that, genuinely, like from the bottom of my heart. It was a crazy stream. But yeah, also quick shout out to my second channel. There's some videos on there if you're interested in seeing more, just on my videos that you may not have seen. And yeah, I'm looking to post more on there. But let's get into this video, man. This is quite a short one. But again, I just pressed the off button. I do like Michael Zemba, so I'm just excited to see what he could like, be doing in this video, basically.
In the NBA draft, Michael Porter Jr. was forced to sit
Kind of quiet.
and wait.
Wait, let's do that again.
First came DeAndre Ayton. 2018 NBA draft, Michael Porter Jr. was forced to
To
sit
2018.
and wait. First came DeAndre Ayton, then Jaren Jackson Jr., Trae Young, Mo Bamba, Wendell Carter Jr., Colin Sexton, and finally, Kevin Knox. Every single one of those players had played in the 2017 McDonald's All-American game, and they had all watched as Michael Porter Jr. cradled the game's MVP trophy in his hands. They also all watched as Adam Silver called their names in the 2018 draft before Michael Porter.
So why would they overlooked him then?
Looking at Michael Porter Jr.'s face, we can read his mind pretty easily. This was not supposed to happen. Just 1 year earlier, there was not only a chance Michael would have been already picked at this point, but he was supposed to be picked number 1. Yes, if we take a trip in time back to before
a year
the
before as well,
college basketball season began, the mock drafts all agreed on one thing. After a senior season that saw him average 36.2 points and 13.6 rebounds per game, Michael Porter Jr., not Luka Doncic, not DeAndre Ayton, not Trae Young, was the can't-miss prospect.
That's levels, man. That's
and
crazy.
he was going to be a star at the next level. In one of their first mock drafts, ESPN ranked Michael number 1 and called him a, quote, potentially devastating offensive weapon. Over at CBS, the ranking was the same, but this time they called him a supersized Jason Tatum. And as for Bleacher Report, they actually felt the need to ask the question, can anyone compete with Michael Porter Jr.? But then came the back injury. So what's up, guys? Mike here, and there's no need for an intro here. We're just going.
I've said this in the past, but injuries are like, they can ruin so much great potential. And like, I'm going to use this example. People aren't going to like know who I'm talking about, but there's this youngster from Manchester United coming through right now. He's one of the hottest prospects. He's 18 years old. He just turned 18. He's one of the hottest prospects in soccer right now. And he's just going off. Like, he's getting hyped up and hyped up. If he got an injury, man, his growth would be stunted, and you never know. Like, his career could go off the rails, and like, it's just one of those things, man. Same with him. Hopefully he fights back, and I guess we're going to see why he is going to like still come back and rise to where people thought he was initially going to come to. But it's just sad how injuries can just ruin a young player's career, or a player's career in general, man. Like D Rose, obviously he's back on top. Like I say, he's back like at the top again, but he could have had so much more from his career if it wasn't for his injuries. So they do suck, man. But that's sport, isn't it?
To continue
It's
on
tough,
to
man.
the back end. In his very first college basketball game, Michael Porter's career at Missouri ended before the first half against Iowa State. The injury was serious and extremely concerning for NBA scouts, as back injuries are among the worst injuries a player can possibly suffer. And so, by the time the 2018 NBA draft came around, teams were scared. They were scared they could potentially waste a draft pick if they selected Michael, and watched as he never again was the same due to injury. But here's the thing. This may have felt like a massive disappointment for Michael Porter Jr. He might have been questioning why, after all the hard work he had put in, this was happening to him. What he didn't realize, though, that this was not a bad thing. This was the biggest blessing of his
Could
life.
spur him
Because
on,
in
couldn't
the
it?
NBA, you can't choose what team you get drafted to, and we've seen it happen time and time again. A young star gets drafted to a bad team and is forced to play on a loser for years, and then finally, after 5 or 6 years of missing the playoffs, that young star eventually forces a trade. Michael, though, was not only going to a playoff team, but a young playoff team that in 2020 is already the number 3 seed in the
That's a good
Eastern
point,
Conference.
actually. Sorry for pausing again, but like, obviously, because the first few picks are from the lowest ranked teams, aren't they? So the fact that he wasn't like one of the first like picks actually sort of does help him. Like he says, maybe like in terms of game time, he won't get as much, but maybe he is. Maybe like he is just getting loads of game time as well.
Conference. He not
This is a
only
good
has
point.
the opportunity to play for a winning franchise right away, but it's also not a stretch to say that he could be playing for a championship in the very near future. With that said, though, the Nuggets championship hopes could coincidentally be decided by the play of none other than Michael Porter Jr. himself. This is
Wow.
a statement that would have seemed like a stretch to begin this season, but as time has gone on, it is also a statement that has become a reality. Because throughout his first year in the NBA, Michael Porter Jr. has certainly gone through growing pains. Nuggets head coach Mike Malone is notoriously tough on young players.
I also want to make sure that he's earning anything that's given to him. Giving a player something is only going to retard their development. Earn it.
And currently, throughout 50 games, Michael averaged just 14.8 minutes per game, despite the fact that his per 36 numbers were phenomenal. Because in
So he's
terms of his
tough,
per
though.
36 minute stats, as a rookie in this league, Michael has averaged 19.8 points and 10.3 rebounds per game. He also would
Fucking hell.
project to knock down 2.4 threes per game in 36 minutes, and as it stands, he is shooting over 50% from the field and 42% from 3. Out of the 37 rookies in NBA history who have averaged at least 19 points and 10 rebounds per game per 36 minutes, only one has averaged at least one three-pointer made per 36 minutes. That man is Michael Porter Jr., which makes sense. He is the new age style of dominant scorer. The 6'10" small forward scoring phenom who is equipped with a knockdown jumper. And so when the NBA stoppage came, Michael used this time to not only improve his game, but to prepare himself to step up to the next level, to get ready to play serious minutes come playoff time. And so when he returned, he joined the bubble with the conditioning to play practically an entire game, but he needed to prove to his coach and teammates that he was worthy of those minutes. And then came Michael's first game in the bubble against the Heat. This was the game he was supposed to show everyone that he was not damaged goods, but instead was a superstar prospect, the player who should have
Was he on
gone
fire, yeah?
number 1. However, things did not work out that way.
Oh,
Just
okay,
30
fuck.
seconds into the game, Michael was called for traveling. He then went on to miss a layup, he missed a 3, and by the time the game was over, the Nuggets had lost by 20, and Mike had shot
Fucking
just
hell.
4 for 11 from the field, 2 for 8 from 3, and
Ooh.
had 3 turnovers and 5 fouls. This was far from a complete disaster, but that's what it felt like to Michael. As head coach Mike Malone would later state, quote, "In between games, I got 3 texts from Michael hitting me up saying, I have to be better, I can do better, stick with me. All those things. I said, Michael, I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna stay with you. You're a
That's what you need, man. You need tough love, but you need love. Like having a sort of, because he's obviously worrying that he's not going to be getting the minutes, but the coach is obviously like going to stick with him. If you've got the doubt in your mind that you're not going to be playing as much, then you're not going to be playing as well. But he's obviously giving him some kind of confidence that he's still going to be there, which is probably the best thing. Tough love, but I feel like tough love is the best.
hell of a young player,
For a
and you're
youngster.
going to continue to grow. This not only proved the type of confidence Michael Porter Jr. had in himself, but it also proved the confidence that his head coach now had.
Exactly.
And this would pay off big time. Because with
Okay.
the confidence of his coach behind him, Michael would rise up and have a historic night for a rookie. Because against the Thunder, Michael Porter Jr. was simply unstoppable. When it was all said and done, he would finish the night with 37 points and 12 rebounds on 12 of 16 shooting, including 4 of 6 shooting from 3. This performance makes him just
How I see this? How have I never heard about this? This was This was in the last week as well.
to have at least 35 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 three-pointers made in a single game. And as you can
What
see
the
on
fuck?
this list, they are impressive to say the least, aside from Anthony Moore. And so here we stand. Michael Porter Jr. has potentially had his breakout game with the Denver Nuggets, and what's more, he really is the missing piece to a potential championship contender. Because in terms of three-pointer attempt rate as a team, the Nuggets rank just 27th in the entire NBA. They could use a star scorer who can play small forward if you choose to go big, or power forward if you choose to go small. They could use a young star to add to their core going forward with Jokic, Murray, and all the other young talent on their roster. They could use Michael Porter Jr. because really, who couldn't? Every team in the NBA right now would want him. The only difference is Denver was the one team that was willing to take a chance on him. And now it looks like they will be reaping the benefits for years to come. So thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much for watching. You're awesome. We all know it. And as always, have an awesome day, guys, and cue that music. By the way,
shout out Mike Kozenba, man. Another banger of a video. I do really enjoy his content, but Michael Porter Jr., let's just see his age. I don't know. I think he may have mentioned his age. He had another 30-point game. What? Are you joking? He had another... Wait. No, it's just Michael Jr. Google doesn't work for me for some reason. He is 22, and he's had another 30-point game. Boy, oh boy. He's starting to get athleticism back. He's so tall. Dude being a bucket. People didn't want to take the chance on him due to back surgery, but he's proven a mistake. Not drafted me. Exactly, man. And that's what you like to see. You love to see people prove the doubt was wrong, man. And props to the Nuggets, man. They took their risk and they've now starting to reap their rewards. No one, Mike Kozenba, why Liam Antetokounmpo will be the first player drafted out of preschool, for fuck's sake. Meet Kevin Durant with 20 pound of muscle. Hey, oh, that's a solid shout. Is that like the player that he's like then? Because KD is already nuts as it is. If he had muscle, like 20 pounds of muscle, a bit more muscle, he would just probably be untouchable. So he's saying that about Michael Porter Jr. God, he could have an interesting career, man. Hey, yo, I'm now into basketball. I'm now properly like involved with basketball, so I can see like how his career will evolve over the next few years, and hopefully he turns into a baller, man. Again, I'm not too now I want to learn more about him, but I wasn't too sort of familiar with him before this video. So yeah, I'm definitely intrigued to see more of him. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and until next time, like, subscribe, peace.